Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and whether you're celebrating with your significant other, maybe your family, maybe just hanging out with yourself, I have some amazing apps and snacks that are really going to set the mood just right. We're going to get started with some charcuterie cups. So this is like a very fancy version of a charcuterie board, which is already pretty fancy on its own. Those little cups right there, they come from the Dollar Tree. So $1.25, and I think you get like 6 or 8 of them. They're super cute. They look super fancy. But I've also done these cups in like little plastic, almost like a wine cup, you know, like you would get if you were going someplace and they had disposable wine cups, or the little tiny clear ones. They're also adorable in those. And then there's also like the different ones that you can get on Amazon that are maybe like not cardboard, but yeah, maybe like cardboard, like a thin cardboard. There's some really cute things out there. So you can use whatever you like, but I like the Dollar Tree ones. And then with these, I always like to use Manchego cheese because Manchego comes in this beautiful triangle shape. And they actually have like a set of the Manchego, and then I think couple other cheeses that are all in triangles at Aldi too. So that's also an option. You can get that and it's already cut into triangles, but I just took my triangle and sliced it into those perfect little triangles. And then I took some salami and I just made tiny little salami rolls. So you rolls. So you just want to take the 2 pieces of salami and kind of line them up as if they're a taco, and then you roll them up and they end up looking like this really cute rose. So I just made roses out of all the salami that I had, and I think that fit into all the little containers. You can also get salami very inexpensively from the deli counter, and that's going to be a lot cheaper than buying it in the little package like this. I think I ordered this online, so it was easier for me to get. And, you know, sometimes things just work out that you're not always going with the cheapest option as much as you want to, and that's okay. But I always like to try and offer you something less expensive to try and save you money. And it's okay that some of them kind of popped open, because once you put them in the cup, they just kind of stay open or stay closed, and they look like little roses, which is really adorable. And then I took my strawberries. So generally when I do these cups, I just slice the strawberries in half. They look really cute with the green on the top. But in this case, because it's Valentine's Day, we're going to make them into hearts. So you slice it in half, and then you just slice it like a little bit of a triangle, and then just a little bit of the top off so that it kind of, you know, makes that heart shape. And I think they're really adorable, and they're really what makes these little charcuterie cups kind of over the top. And then that's all the work you need to do, and then it's just time to assemble the cups. So start off with that Manchego cheese, and then put in a cracker. So I think it's called a Raincoat Crisp, and it's the maybe fig and rosemary one. They have a bunch of different brands. I really like these because there's like all different flavors, and they're full of seeds and fruit. So there's kind of a lot of different things going on there. I think it tastes really good with the Manchego, but you can always use whatever your favorite cracker is. And I even like to do sometimes like a little sourdough cracker. That's really nice. And then we're just going to put those salami roses in. And then in the bottom, I put some Marcona almonds. I find these usually in the deli section, but you can put any of your favorite mixes of nuts. So you could put some cashews in there. I've done that before. You can put even like a trail mix type thing with some dried fruit and dried nuts. Really anything will do, especially if you already have something around, you can put that in there. And then we just top it off with these little heart strawberries, and it's just so festive and so adorable. A little bit of everything in here. It's especially perfect just for like a Valentine's Day where you don't want to make like a huge plate. Maybe everybody just gets something and then that makes you super happy. Or even just like your significant other, because you don't necessarily need to make a massive plate of food. You can just have these little cups as a little something to get started. For this one, we're making Caprese heart skewers, and these are just so adorable and really simple to make. So we're going to start with some grape tomatoes or cherry tomatoes, really whatever you can get your hands on. I know they have all different names for them, but just the little ones. And then you want to slice them on a diagonal, and the idea is that you're going to kind of put them together backwards to make a heart. I felt like it didn't make a heart as much as I had kind of hoped, but when you look at them at the right angle, you can definitely see a heart. So I thought it was cute no matter what, and it was still a really nice, like light snack, and it really felt like something that was very Valentine's Day friendly. So you just want to slice those and then skewer them onto toothpicks. I just had a traditional size toothpick, so I did a tomato and then some basil and then just one piece of mozzarella. You could also do the heart in the middle and then 2 pieces of mozzarella. And in that case, you'd want to do the little bit larger toothpicks. Again, you can also get those at the Dollar Tree, Walmart. Very inexpensive thing to kind of use for this appetizer. Then you need fresh basil leaves and just fold those up and put those on next. And then I have I believe it's like Clingene, Cligene, I believe, mozzarella. They're the tiny little mozzarella balls, not the pearl mozzarella. Those are even smaller, but they're kind of the medium size. They are absolutely perfect for this. And you can skewer those right on there. So you have a heart and then a little piece of basil and then a piece of fresh mozzarella cheese. And if you only had bigger pieces of mozzarella, that would be fine too. Hey, you could even cut it into a heart shape and put it on. That might be really cute as well. And then once all of them are skewered together, you have your little caprices all set up. You want to use a glaze, a balsamic glaze. So it's something you can find, I think near like the dressing section in the grocery store, and it's called balsamic glaze, or maybe it's in the vinegar, but usually the vinegar and the dressing are right near each other. And you just want to drizzle that over the top. That is a sweet vinegar flavor, so you're not going to put like oil and balsamic, but more that drizzle, and it is so delicious. And these are a really nice light appetizer to kind of get started with, and I thought they were really cute with the little hearts on them. Next up, we're making homemade shrimp rangoons. These are amazing because they're made in the air fryer. And you can make them with already cooked shrimp, so it's super simple. You could also use imitation crab for this if you'd like, or even lobster. I personally do not love imitation crab, but I do love a rangoon. So making these at home with the shrimp was a real treat. And I couldn't believe like how pretty they were and how beautiful they turned out. I'm like, I made that? Yes, I did. And you can too. Okay, I am going to get a little off topic here, but that reminded me of a show that used to be on PBS, I believe. It was called Yen Can Cook, and he would go, Yen can cook, and so can you. If you remember that show, let me know down in the comments. I think it was like in the 80s. I was obsessed with it as a little kid, which can show a lot about who I am and who I've become, because I always loved cooking shows. But yes, I remember Yen Can Cook, and he was so funny. So anyway, you can make shrimp rangoons too. So you just want to start with about a half a cup of cooked shrimp, and you take the tails off of those, and then we're just going to dice them up really small into really tiny pieces. I mean, think about when you're cutting, you just want to consider what is the size that I want the shrimp to be inside of the rangoons, and that's what we're going to use. And then you also want to slice up 3 scallions, and just the green parts. So we're not going to put the white parts in this case, but all of the green parts, you can just add those to the bowl with the shrimp. And then add in 2 teaspoons of soy sauce and a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. And then to that, you want to add 8 ounces of softened cream cheese and a teaspoon or half a teaspoon of black pepper. And then we want 2 cloves of garlic grated. And if you don't have a grater, you could always just mince it up really finely, or you could use about a teaspoon of garlic powder if you just don't have fresh. And you want to mix that all really well. So you're going to need to put some elbow grease into this because we're getting the cream cheese mixed into everything. But you do want to make sure that it is well mixed and that it is evenly distributed. And then these wonton wrappers, I usually find them, they're kind of like where like the tofu is. So it's in the produce section. And there's not like a lot of different brands or anything like that at most of the grocery stores that I go to, at least I'm in New Hampshire. So just a couple different options, but you just want to get a normal package of wonton wrappers. You get a ton of them when you do buy them, and they're not that expensive. And then we're going to lay them out. I mixed up about just 1 egg, so like a little, almost like an egg wash. And you want to put about a tablespoon of the mixture in each of the wontons. And then we're going to paint the edges of the wonton wrapper with the egg wash. And then you're going to have to watch me do this, but I'm going to kind of take the opposite sides and put them together. And what's going to happen is the other sides in the middle is going to kind of squeeze out. And that's how you're going to make that little like 4-sided, it almost reminds me of like a cootie catcher, if you know what I'm talking about. Like it goes in and out on either 4 sides. So if you think back to your cootie catcher folding days and kind of create a wonton like that, I think you can do it. So I just did this with all of the package or all of the filling that I had, and then placed them on a baking sheet and let them kind of dry out for a few minutes while I finish making everything. And then I ended up cooking mine in the air fryer. So you want to preheat the air fryer to 350 degrees and spray down the basket. And not only spray down the air fryer basket, but I also sprayed down the actual wonton wrappers. And that helps to make them kind of golden brown. And you want to cook them for about 5 minutes and then cook them for 3 minutes more. If they're dry, you want to put a little bit more oil on them. So it's really like 8 minutes total. It doesn't take very much time. I did a few different batches because I had so many of them. You definitely don't have to make this much. It's very easy to half this recipe. They're really incredible. I served them with a sweet chili sauce, but you could also just serve them with whatever your favorite sauce is to go with a Rangoon. I couldn't believe how beautiful they were, that I made them myself, and I just really feel like these are a Valentine's worthy app for sure. For this one, we're making artichoke bites. These are so flavorful, so adorable, perfect little finger food. You just want to start with 1 can of artichoke hearts drained, and we're just going to chop them up pretty small because we're going to be putting them in the bites. So sometimes I love to have like a big piece of artichoke in my artichoke dip, but when we're putting them into little cups like this, I do want it to be smaller because you don't want it to just be taken up by a whole piece of artichoke. We want to make sure that we get a good amount of everything in each bite. Then you just want to add all of that to a bowl, and then we're going to add about 5 ounces of softened cream cheese. To that, I added a clove of minced garlic. You could also use about a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. And then at that point, I just kind of gave it a good mix, started getting that artichoke mixture mixed up, and then added a half a teaspoon of onion powder, a half a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, and about a tablespoon of lemon juice. You also want to add in about a third a cup of shredded mozzarella cheese, a quarter teaspoon of black pepper, and a half a teaspoon of salt. Once everything is mixed and well incorporated, I have these little phyllo pastry cups. These are pretty inexpensive and they're really adorable, especially for a special occasion. I had grabbed mine on clearance, so I ended up having 30 of them, and I was going to my grandmother's birthday party. So there's a perfect opportunity to use this, but you only need like 1 of these and to make about half this recipe if you're going to do this for Valentine's Day, unless you're going to do it for a Galentine's Day, in which case you definitely want to be making plenty of them because they are absolutely delicious. So you just put the phyllo cups out on a baking dish and just fill each one with about a teaspoon of the artichoke mixture. I used a cookie scoop to do it, which was perfect, and these ended up absolutely incredible. So you could serve them cold like this, but with that mozzarella cheese, I wanted everything to cook up, so I baked them at 350 degrees for about 10 minutes. You just want to check until they're kind of golden brown on top and they're melty and gooey, and they're absolutely phenomenal, and the flavor is really incredible. And it's not Valentine's Day without chocolate-covered strawberries. Now, these could be considered dessert, but also an appetizer. So it's super easy to make your own chocolate-covered strawberries these days, and I think that it's even better than buying the grocery store ones because they're the exact same thing and they're double the price. So I found this chocolate melt that you could just follow the instructions and melt it up in the microwave right next to the strawberries in the produce aisle. But you can also find a different type of candy melt in the baking section, and that's what I always get to do my Oreo truffles at Christmas time, and I'll make sure to put that recipe in the description box in case you want to make some Oreo truffles for Valentine's Day, because those are also very special. So I just followed the instructions, microwave for 30 seconds, stirred, microwave for 30 seconds over and over again. And then you just take your perfect strawberries, make sure you wash them off, and dip them around in here, and they get completely covered in this delicious chocolate candy shell. And then you just want to place it down on, I just did like a baking sheet with a parchment paper sheet on it. It's a perfect place for them to kind of cool off. You can put them really anywhere. It's okay to put them on their side. They're not going to be perfectly covered all around. That's what you're going to find at the grocery store too. Like half of them are flat. This is also super fun. So it's really cute to do for your significant other or your gals. But it's also really fun to do with kids. My kids were so excited to dip the strawberries in the chocolate and kind of get involved in it. And they loved eating them too. So it was just a really fun activity. And it's probably going to be something that we'll do as a Valentine's Day tradition from now on, which is, I always love like cooking traditions and something special, something to look forward to doing together. And it was great because all 3 kids, even though my oldest does not care for chocolate, he wanted to get involved just dipping it, and he thought that was fun anyway, even though he wasn't going to partake in the strawberries per se. And we saved some off to the side for him too, so he could enjoy them. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was just sighing because I was looking at the Kansas City shirt. So we'll see what the Super Bowl brings. My kids love the Chiefs. So, you comment below who you want to win the Super Bowl this year. And maybe you'll be watching this after and you'll already know. So either way, what are you a fan of, And then you just want to take some white chocolate. You could also just put some sprinkles on these, but I like to do a white chocolate drizzle. That makes them look even prettier. So you just take the white chocolate melting wafers, or there's also the cups of white chocolate. Follow the instructions on the package. And then I just take a fork and drizzle that over. Unfortunately, the footage of that got deleted. I didn't have it, unfortunately. So here we are, just the kids having fun. But I did end up drizzling them in the white chocolate. You could use sprinkles. You can just keep them chocolate if that's what you like. But it was a lot of fun, and the kids really enjoyed it. And I think that if anything, don't go out. I mean, you can definitely pay the premium, but it's fun to make them yourself. And especially because it's from the heart, right? That you made your own strawberries. There's that white chocolate, but the rest of it was gone. So I hope you have an amazing, amazing Valentine's Day. And even if you're just treating yourself or with your gals or with your significant other or with your kids, just have a wonderful time, and I hope you eat something absolutely delicious. And if you love these holiday videos, make sure to like this video and subscribe so I can make more. Out of use. Now